I have analyzed the lives of over 500 of the most successful men this world has ever known. Through 20 years of research, I discovered a golden thread that bound them all together. A secret so potent, yet so misunderstood, that most men live their entire lives in ignorance of its power. This is the mystery of the 10th step to riches, the law of sex transmutation. Let us be clear from the outset. We are not discussing morality or theology. We are discussing energy, the raw primordial force that drives the human race. The desire for sex is the most powerful of human desires. When driven by this desire, men develop keenness of imagination, courage, willpower, persistence, and creative ability unknown to them at other times. So strong and impelling is the desire for sexual contact that men freely run the risk of life and reputation to indulge it. But when harnessed and redirected along other lines, this same motivating force maintains all of its attributes of imagination and courage. It can be used as a powerful creative force in literature, art, or in any other profession or calling, including, of course, the accumulation of riches. Transmutation is simple to define, yet difficult for the undisciplined to master. It means the switching of the mind from thoughts of physical expression to thoughts of some other creative effort. It is the act of taking a river that is flowing toward the sea of physical indulgence and damming it, then rerouting that massive pressure through the turbines of your definite chief aim. Observe the scattered man. He is the man who lives for the momentary release. He dissipates his vital energy at every opportunity, unaware that he is throwing away the very fuel required for his genius. You can see it in his eyes. They are dull, lacking the fire of purpose. His voice is thin, his posture uncertain, and his aura is weak and easily ignored by the world of commerce. The scattered man is a slave to his biology. He wonders why he lacks the persistence to see a project through to the end. He wonders why he lacks the magnetism to attract followers or investors. The truth is painful. He has spent his creative coin on a moment's pleasure, leaving his spirit bankrupt for the marketplace of life. Now contrast him with the transmuted man. This is the individual who has learned the art of self-mastery. He does not suppress his desire, for to suppress it is to invite neurosis and decay. Instead, he acknowledges the surge of power within him and consciously directs it toward his work, his art, or his financial goals. The transmuted man possesses a magnetic eye. When he speaks, his voice carries a resonance that commands attention. He has developed what I call enthusiasm. This is not mere excitement. It is the outward radiation of a highly charged inner battery. People are drawn to him, they trust him, and they follow him, often without knowing why. History proves that the great leaders, artists, and titans of industry were men who developed highly sexed natures but learned to transmute that energy. Look at the records of George Washington, Napoleon Bonaparte, or Abraham Lincoln. You will find that their greatest achievements came only after they had reached the age of 40 or 50, the years when a man typically learns to balance his drives and channel them into his intellect. The reason for this late blooming genius is simple. Most men spend their energies in riotous living during their 20s and 30s. They are too busy chasing the physical to cultivate the spiritual and mental power that transmutation provides. It is only when they learn to stop leaking their power that they begin to ascend the heights of human achievement. To the man who wishes to join the ranks of the elite, I say this: your desire is a gift. It is the great stimulant. Without it, you would be as listless as a steer. But with it, you possess the potential of a god. The question is not whether you have the drive, but whether you have the iron will to steer it. How does one begin this process? It starts with the definite chief aim. You must have a purpose so large, so consuming, and so vital that it demands every ounce of your focus. When the urge for physical expression arises, you do not fight it. You acknowledge it, and then you immediately turn your mind to your work with intense concentration. By doing this, you are literally changing the vibration of your thought. You are elevating the mind from the physical plane to the creative plane. This is where the sixth sense resides. This is where the infinite intelligence communicates with the human mind. You cannot reach these heights if your mind is weighed down by the heavy vibrations of the lower self. The genius is simply a man who has discovered how to increase the vibrations of his thought to the point where he can communicate with sources of knowledge not available through the ordinary rate of vibration. The most effective way to increase this vibration is through the transmutation of sex energy. There is no such thing as a genius who does not possess this great force of desire, and there is no such thing as a great man who has not learned to control it. The man who is entirely without this drive is a man who can never be inspired to great heights of achievement. He is, for all intents and purposes, dead to the world of creative action. But beware the danger of the uncontrolled drive. A man with great sex energy and no self-control is more dangerous than a man with no energy at all. He is like a locomotive without a track. He will inevitably crash and destroy himself and those around him. Self-discipline is the only track upon which this power can safely run. Look at the titans of the Gilded Age. Men like Andrew Carnegie and Henry Ford were not mere calculators of numbers. They were men of immense passion. They took that passion and forged it into steel, into automobiles, and into empires. They were masters of themselves before they became masters of the world. If you find yourself struggling with focus, if you find yourself lacking the iron presence that commands respect, look first to your habits. Are you scattering your power? Are you wasting the secret source on trivialities? If so, you are voluntarily choosing mediocrity over mastery. The world is hungry for men of high vibration. The world yields to the man who can look it in the eye with the steady, piercing gaze of one who is in total command of his internal forces. This is the magnetism that closes deals, that wins wars, and that builds civilizations. You must realize that the emotion of sex contains the secret of three constructive possibilities: the perpetuation of mankind, the maintenance of health, and the transformation of mediocrity into genius through transmutation. Most men only ever discover the first. The wise man masters all three. This is not a path for the weak. It requires a level of self-honesty that most men cannot stomach. It requires you to look at your most private urges and see them as raw material for your success. It requires you to be the architect of your own soul. When you feel the surge of this energy, do not seek the path of least resistance. Seek the path of greatest production. Sit at your desk, pick up your tools, or step onto the stage. Let that inner fire burn through your work. Let it animate your words and sharpen your logic. As you practice this, you will notice a change. Your memory will become more acute. Your imagination will become more vivid. You will find yourself capable of working long hours with a level of enthusiasm that others find exhausting. You are no longer drawing from a shallow well. You are tapped into the ocean of infinite intelligence. The iron wisdom I share with you today is the same wisdom that has built every great fortune in history. It is the law of nature. You cannot cheat it, and you cannot bypass it. You must either master your drives or be mastered by them. There is no middle ground. I challenge you to experiment with this law for 30 days. Direct every impulse toward your definite chief aim. Watch how your presence changes. Watch how the world begins to react to you differently. You will find that you have transitioned from a scattered man into a transmuted man, a man of power. Remember, the mind is a creature of habit. It thrives upon the dominating thoughts fed it. Through the faculty of willpower, you may discourage the presence of any emotion and encourage the presence of any other. Control of the mind through habit is the beginning of all great achievement. This is the secret source of genius. It is the fuel of the titans. It is the iron within the soul that allows a man to stand tall while others crumble. Use this power wisely. Use it productively, and you will find that the world will not only give you what you ask for, but it will do so with a level of speed that seems almost miraculous. The choice is yours. Will you remain scattered, or will you become a master of transmutation? Will you be a slave to your impulses or the commander of your destiny? The road to genius is open to any man who has the courage to control the fire within. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve, provided you have the energy to fuel the journey, transmute your power, forge your future, become the titan you were meant to be. The law of sex transmutation is the bridge between the animal and the divine. Cross that bridge, and you will never look back at your former self with anything but pity. Stand firm, stay disciplined, and let your inner fire light the way to your ultimate success. To understand the sheer magnitude of this law, one must look at the biological imperative. Nature's strongest drive is the perpetuation of the species. This drive is so intense that it overrides the instinct for self-preservation. When a man learns to hijack this biological imperative, he is essentially tapping into the evolutionary engine of the universe. He is no longer working with his own limited strength. He is working with the same force that moves the planets and stars. It is a form of spiritual nuclear power that, when contained within the reactor of a disciplined mind, generates the electricity of world-altering ideas. I have observed that the most successful salesmen, those who can close a deal in the face of insurmountable odds, are almost always men who possess a high degree of sex energy. They carry an invisible charge that influences the customer's subconscious mind. This is why a man of low vitality, regardless of his knowledge of the product, will always struggle to sell. He lacks the vibrational hook that captures the attention of the buyer. The magnetic personality is not a gift from the heavens. It is a direct byproduct of energy conservation and redirection. It is the result of keeping the fire in the belly burning brightly rather than letting it flicker out in a series of meaningless encounters. Consider the physical toll of a scattered life. Every time a man indulges his lower impulses without purpose, he is depleting his nervous system. He is draining the phosphorus from his brain and the vitality from his blood. Over time, this constant draining leads to a hardening of the spirit. He becomes cynical, tired, and uninspired. He wonders why his luck has run out. The truth is that his luck was never luck at all. It was his magnetism, and he has spent it all. To regain his power, he must go through a period of energetic fasting, where he stops the leaks and allows his internal reservoir to refill. The transmuted man understands that his creative capacity is directly linked to his physical reserve. He treats his energy with the same reverence that a miser treats his gold. He does not waste it on anger. He does not waste it on petty arguments, and he certainly does not waste it on the trivial pursuit of physical release for its own sake. He knows that every ounce of energy he saves today is a brick in the mansion of his future. This is the iron wisdom that the masses will never understand. They will call him lucky, or they will call him a workaholic, but they will never see the silent mastery he exercises over his own biology. In my research, I found a startling correlation between the decline of empires and the decline of sexual discipline among their leaders. When the Roman elite began to live solely for the indulgence of the senses, their aura of authority vanished. They could no longer command the respect of their soldiers or the fear of their enemies. Their vibration had become soft and decadent. The same is true for the individual. When you lose control over your most basic drive, you lose your right to rule over your circumstances. The universe only yields to the firm hand. It only responds to the high-frequency signal of the man who is master of himself. Let us look at the mechanics of the mind during transmutation. The limbic system is the seat of our primal drives, while the prefrontal cortex is the seat of our logic and creative will. Transmutation is the process by which the prefrontal cortex commands the energy generated in the limbic system. It is like a master conductor leading a powerful orchestra. If the conductor is weak, the music becomes noise. If the conductor is strong, the noise becomes a symphony. By focusing on your definite chief aim, you are literally rerouting the neural pathways of your desire. You are training your brain to associate the rush of energy with achievement rather than indulgence. This leads us to the concept of the magnetic eye. Have you ever looked into the eyes of a man who is truly focused on a great mission? There is a light there that is almost uncomfortable to behold. It is the light of a soul that is fully integrated. There is no internal conflict, no scattering of intent. When such a man looks at you, you feel his presence in your very marrow. This eye is the result of years of transmutation. It is the physical manifestation of a mind that has been purged of the low vibration static of the scattered man. To develop this eye, one must begin by guarding the gateways of the mind, the eyes and the ears, against anything that triggers the lower self without a creative purpose. Think of your energy like a light bulb versus a laser. A light bulb scatters its energy in all directions. It can illuminate a room, but it cannot cut through steel. A laser, however, is a focused beam of coherent light. It can cut through the hardest materials on Earth because all of its energy is moving in the same direction. Transmutation is the process of turning your light bulb energy into laser energy. When you are in a state of high sexual tension and you turn that tension toward a single problem or goal, you are applying a laser-like focus that few can withstand. This is how impossible breakthroughs are made. This is how a man like Thomas Edison could work for days on end without sleep. He was fueled by a reservoir of energy that most men don't even know exists. The genius of the world are not people who were born with more brain matter than the rest of us. They are simply people who have learned to vibrate at a higher frequency. They have discovered that the human mind is like a radio. It can be tuned to different stations. Most people spend their lives tuned to the static of the material plane. The genius tunes his radio to the infinite intelligence station. But to hear that station, the signal must be strong, and the signal is powered by the transmutation of sex energy. This is the secret ingredient in every masterpiece, every grand invention, and every massive fortune. It is the ghost in the machine that turns a simple thought into a physical reality. I have seen men who were once failures, broken, discouraged, and penniless, transform their lives in a matter of months by applying this law. They didn't change their jobs and they didn't get lucky. They simply changed their internal state. They stopped the vibrational leakage and started building an internal pressure. This pressure manifested as a new level of self-confidence, a more persuasive voice, and a vibe of success that became a self-fulfilling prophecy. They stopped begging the world for a chance and started commanding the world to pay attention. The world, being a mirror of our internal state, had no choice but to comply. You must understand that your aura is real. It is an electromagnetic field that surrounds your body. Scientists are only now beginning to measure what the ancients have known for millennia. Your sexual energy is a primary component of this field. When you are scattered, your magnetic field is weak and chaotic. You repel opportunity and attract low vibration people who feed off your weakness. When you are transmuted, your magnetic field is strong, coherent, and attractive. You literally pull people, circumstances, and money toward you. You become a giant magnet in the sea of humanity. This is not woo-woo mysticism. It is physics applied to the human experience. To those who fear that this path will make them cold or unfeeling, I say the opposite is true. The transmuted man is the most passionate of men. His love is not a shallow, fleeting thing. It is a deep, resonant force. because he has mastered his lower self, he is capable of a higher form of connection that the scattered man will never know. He brings his charged presence into every relationship, making him a more effective leader, a more devoted husband, and a more inspiring friend. He does not love less. He loves with more iron and more purpose. He is a man who is fully alive, operating at the peak of his human potential. The road to mastery requires you to be ruthless with yourself. You must audit your thoughts with the same scrutiny that an accountant audits a ledger. When a thought of low vibration enters your mind, you must evict it immediately and replace it with a thought of your definite chief aim. You must treat your mind as a sacred temple, where only the highest vibrations are allowed. This level of discipline is what separates the titans from the drifters. The drifter is at the mercy of every impulse. The titan is the architect of his own internal atmosphere. The biological reality of this transformation is rooted in the very structure of the human brain. You must understand that the human mind is divided between the lower animal instincts and the higher creative faculties. Most men are ruled by the limbic system, the primitive portion of the brain that seeks immediate gratification and physical release. But the transmuted man has shifted the seat of his power to the prefrontal cortex, the center of logic, long-term planning, and imaginative thought. When you feel the surge of sexual energy, it is being generated in the lower centers. Transmutation is the conscious act of pulling that energy upward. You are literally feeding the higher brain with the high-octane fuel of the lower body. This is why the transmuted man is capable of superhuman feats of concentration. He has more fuel in his engine than the average man. Consider the relationship between sex energy and the quality of your personal magnetism. Every person you encounter is a walking receiver of vibrations. They may not be able to articulate why they feel a certain way about you, but their subconscious mind is constantly scanning your frequency. When a man is scattered, his vibration is erratic and weak. He lacks the gravitational pull necessary to hold the attention of powerful people. But when a man practices transmutation, his aura becomes dense. He radiates a sense of sovereignty. This is the secret of the world's most successful negotiators. They don't win through logic alone. They win because their vibration is so steady and so powerful that the other person's mind naturally synchronizes with theirs. You cannot fake this energy. It must be cultivated in the secret chambers of your own self-discipline. I have observed that the most successful salesmen are almost always individuals with a highly developed sexual nature. Why? Because they carry a vibrational hook. When they walk into a room, they are not just presenting a product, they are projecting a life force. This life force creates a rapport that transcends words. The buyer feels a sense of confidence and vitality emanating from the salesman. This is the hidden persuader. If you are struggling in your career, do not look first at your technical skills. Look at your energy levels. Are you leaking your power in the pursuit of temporary pleasure? If so, you are effectively short-circuiting your own magnetic field. You are trying to light up a city with a flashlight battery. To command the high-stakes world of commerce, you must have a high-voltage aura. This leads us to the concept of the magnetic eye. Have you ever looked into the eyes of a man who is truly transmuted? There is a light there that is almost piercing. It is the light of a soul that is no longer divided against itself. The scattered man has leaky eyes. They wander, they lack focus, and they reflect the internal chaos of his desires. But the transmuted man has a steady, unwavering gaze. This is because his energy is being channeled through his sixth sense, the faculty through which we receive inspiration and communicate with the infinite intelligence. When you stop the physical leakage, that energy must find an exit point, and it often does so through the eyes and the voice. This is why the titans of industry could command a boardroom with a single look. They were projecting a charged presence that demanded total compliance. Think of your sexual energy as a stimulant. It is more potent than any drug or external chemical. When this stimulant is present in the system, it sharpens the memory, clarifies the vision, and strengthens the will. The genius is simply a man who has learned how to stimulate his own brain to vibrate at a higher rate. Most men only experience this high vibration during physical indulgence, which is immediately followed by a crash in energy and a lowering of the vibrational rate. The transmuted man, however, maintains this high vibration for hours, days, or even weeks at a time. He lives in a state of perpetual inspiration. This is how masterpieces are written and empires are built. It is the ability to stay in the high vibration zone long enough to manifest a physical result. You must also understand the law of the vacuum. Nature abhors a vacuum. When you stop the lower physical expressions of your energy, you create a void within your being. If you do not immediately fill that void with a definite chief aim, the pressure will become unbearable and you will eventually revert to your old habits. This is where most men fail. They try to practice abstinence without transmutation. Abstinence is merely holding the breath. It is a temporary state of tension. Transmutation is the act of giving that energy a new job to do. You must have a project, a goal, or a dream that is so exciting and so demanding that it pulls the energy out of you. You are not giving up pleasure, you are trading a low-level pleasure for the high-level ecstasy of achievement. The great titans I studied, men like Ford, Carnegie, and Rockefeller, were not cold, sterile machines. They were men of immense passion, but they were also men of immense iron. They understood that the fires of passion could either melt the iron of the soul or be used to forge it into a weapon of success. They chose the latter. They took the heat of their desires and used it to fuel their obsession with their work. This created a feedback loop. The more they achieved, the more enthusiastic they became, and the more energy they had to transmute. This is why successful men often seem to get more energetic as they get older, while the average man fades away. The transmuted man is constantly recharging his own battery through the act of creative achievement. I want to speak directly to the late bloomers. Many men worry that they have wasted their best years in riotous living. But the records show that the period between 40 and 60 is the most productive for the man who learns the secret of transmutation. This is because in his youth he was a slave to his impulses. In his middle years, he has the wisdom to recognize the value of his energy and the iron will to control it. If you are in this age bracket, do not despair. You are just entering the age of power. Your physical drives may be leveling off, but your ability to transmute what remains is at its peak. You have the opportunity to build more in the next 10 years than you did in the previous 30, provided you stop the leakage and focus your vibration. Your aura is the ultimate calling card. It is the shadow cast by your soul in the world of men. If your soul is disciplined and your energy is transmuted, your shadow will be formidable. You will find that you no longer have to fight for opportunities. They will seem to gravitate toward you. This is because you have become a success object. You are broadcasting a frequency that the universe is forced to match. The man who has mastered sex transmutation is like a powerful radio tower. He can reach across the globe with his influence. But the man who is scattered is like a broken handset. He can barely be heard by those standing right next to him. Choose to be the tower. Choose to be the titan. Finally, remember that the iron wisdom is not a philosophy of shoulds or musts. It is a philosophy of power. I am not telling you to transmute your energy because it is good. I am telling you to do it because it is effective. It is the difference between being a drifter and being a commander. The drifter is at the mercy of his hormones. The commander uses his hormones to fuel his conquest. The forge of life is always hot. The question is, are you the iron being shaped, or are you the smith holding the hammer? Master your internal fires, and you will find that there is nothing in the external world that can stand in your way. Stand tall, stay focused, and let the law of sex transmutation turn your raw desire into the gold of achievement. This is the path to genius. This is the 10th step to riches. This is the iron wisdom.